My name is Mike Devault, and I live in Celebration, Florida with my wife Julia and my daughter Anna. And I've worked in the video game industry for most of my life, but now I work as just a freelance contractor here at home, and I homeschool my daughter Anna, and which is a huge blessing because we get to go to daily mass every day and be closer to the Lord. The Blessed Mother for me is really my mother. So she's somebody, really I didn't understand her role in my life very much until I came back to the church, and then I saw her everywhere. And every day she would just really help me to get to know who her son was, because I really had no idea. Thank God for her, because she's every day helps me to take a one step closer to him. And I think without her, I would be clueless. The rosary for me is just like one of the anchors of my faith. It's just that prayer that I can go back to. I don't have to be at Mass or at church to pray it. I can just carve out, if I'm feeling like there's something empty, if I need to pray. I know there's a rosary within arm's shot here at the home. I just sit down, pick it up, and pray it. And, always at the end of the rosary, you feel a ton better. So it's just one of those prayers that I think is sort of my go-to when I'm not feeling quite right. I definitely think that it is worth it to pray the rosary in today's world, and I have to side with Padre Pio on this, Saint Padre Pio, that it is our greatest spiritual weapon. Aside from the Eucharist and the Mass, of course, but I think that the times that you feel sort of that laziness to pray it, or that intimidation, like, it's just going to take too long, or I don't have time for this, are indications of just how powerful it is, because you know that the devil's just trying to prevent you from picking up those beads. My favorite mystery, that's a tough one, but I think it might have to be the coronation. I think that when I'm praying through the glorious mysteries, when I get to that one, if I have to be truthful, I feel a little extra warmth there. Well, I definitely have not always prayed the rosary as someone who's reverted back to the faith after a long time away, but the rosary was one of the pillars of my sort of reversion or conversion back to the faith. I remember when I first came back that I prayed the rosary probably for a good year and a half after Mass in the chapel with the faithful from Mass. And I started to lead it, and then eventually got pulled into other ministries. Yeah, when I had my conversion, I think the rosary was just sort of a no-brainer. I think I felt the strong presence of Our Lady, and that was sort of at the time the only prayer that I knew to pray was the Hail Mary and the Our Father and the Glory Be, and that's kind of like the basis of the rosary for everybody. But I don't know, I kind of saw it as like a lot of prayers, right? It's like over 50 prayers, so it's kind of like, hey, it's a lot of time commitment. But as I started praying it more often. I wouldn't say that it got any quicker, but as you're able to meditate on the mysteries more, I think it just, some days it goes and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm done. And then other days I split it up amongst my day. Sometimes I'll take 5 minutes here and I'll stop what I'm doing and pray a decade, and just split it up. It'll take the entire day, but I'll get through it. Definitely praying the rosary has almost an immediate effect when I start praying it, I might be in a certain mood or I feeling certain things, and it just always helps. Well, if I'm praying it properly, to just, I don't know, center me back into the Lord and towards God. I feel like if I'm sort of putting my heart and my mind in the right place while I'm praying it, that Our Lady's always just showering graces down to the point where, like, I could be struggling through a certain thing and I always feel better. There's not been a time that I've prayed the rosary or I haven't felt a ton better or closer to Jesus than before I started. If somebody tells me that the rosary's boring, I would tell them that I see where they're coming from. I can sympathize because I was once there, and I think for everybody, there's times in your life or throughout the day that it's a struggle to stop and pray. Like, we're also, I don't know, conditioned into this world we live in where you got to get so much done during the day, and you think, oh, I don't really have time to stop for 5 minutes and pray to the Lord. Like, it just sounds ridiculous to say it out loud, but then I would sympathize with them that, it's just, but once you sort of start it, even if you do a mystery at a time throughout the day, you'll be extremely shocked at how quickly it goes by and how much you get out of it. I definitely think that it's important to pray the rosary as a family. And again, this is sort of like, where the devil comes in, but you always feel that resistance to do it, like there's not enough time in your family day. But again, every time that you pray the rosary with your family, you just feel the family bond just getting tighter and stronger. So I definitely think that it's something that all families should take time to do. I would say that the rosary has had an impact and strengthened my marriage life. It's given me the ability to talk about difficult subjects with my wife, or to bring up, things that I otherwise wouldn't have done, just knowing that Our Lady's there with us to carry us through any difficult times. And, definitely praying the rosary has helped to give me the strength to do that and to help us grow closer together. I mean, if somebody's on the fence about starting to pray the rosary, I would say just, not to quote another company's tagline, but just do it. It's really going to make an impact on your prayer life. Maybe you're a guy and you don't like the look of the rosary. It looks kind of like weak and like just some beads on a chain. Find a rosary that you like. There's tons of companies out there that make manly looking rosaries, and I found for myself that even helps. Just, days where, maybe I'm struggling to say it, is like, find a rosary that you like to look at and find a crucifix on it that speaks to you, and make that rosary your own and carry it with you every day wherever you're going.